So the question is, when we get to that part of the year from the 17th of Tammuz until Tisha B'Av, that we know that these days of mourning, and specifically from the beginning of Av, that the sages are telling us, Mishenichnas Av mema'atin b'simcha, from the beginning of the month of Av, we are minimize the joy. So how that will apply for the continuation of the time after Tisha B'Av, from Rosh Chodesh Elul, what is the transformation? So that's an interesting question, and I will start with a word of one of my rabbis, Rav Rafael Adler Shlita, that I heard from him. He have a very interesting original thought. I never heard it from anyone else, but he's a very, very high level rabbi that I give full respect to his word. So he claims that momentum of sadness, not sadness, but the minimizing joy from the beginning of Av, the sages don't tell us until when. They don't say that after Tisha B'Av you go back to maximize the joy. There's no statement about where does it end. So he understands that goes all the way to Rosh Hashanah. From the beginning of Av, all of Av and all of Elul. Most of the rabbis, they say maximum the 10th of Av. Afterwards you can go back to normal. And for sure in Tu B'Av, about Tu B'Av, it says in Masechet Ta'anit, לא היו ימים טובים לישראל כTu B'Av ויום הכיפורים. So Tu B'Av is considered to be a very holy, very special day. But for him, he doesn't accept it because it doesn't say that it's time to be joyful. It says that it's a good day. So we have to understand what's so good about the 15th of Av. Okay, so there is few answers in the Gemara. The nights are becoming to be longer, so you have more time to learn at night, because in the past people were working all day. So if there's a long day and short night, so they don't have time to learn. When it's a short day and long night, so they have more time to learn. So that's one answer. There's other answers in the Gemara and Masechet Ta'anit, but anyhow, that's his opinion. Now, the normal way to look on Elul is that it's time of tshuva, right? Many people, they call Chodesh Elul the month of the tshuva, Yamei HaTshuva ve'Haratzon, the month of the tshuva and the desire, the will, that we can connect to the desire of Hashem. What is tshuva? That my will is according to Hashem's will, right? The source of sins, that the will of the person is going away from the will of Hashem. That's basically simple. Now, there's a very clear source in the writings of the Arizal, and really it starts from the Zohar. The time of Elul there's a great abundance of the 13 attributes of mercy that are flowing into this world in this time, and that's part of the reason of doing slichot. And there's special meditations that are designated for the beginning of Elul, for the month of Elul, within the Sharuch HaKodesh, which is the most advanced meditations of the Arizal are there usually. There's special meditations for this time. Why? Because this time of Elul have a great potential. They have a very great potential, and basically the potential is to reconnect ourselves to Hashem. And when a person is doing that properly, when he's connecting to Hashem, so then everything open up. So for me, this is also the answer about joy. That the month of Elul can be time of crying. Sometimes when someone is doing tshuva, so he's crying about his past, about his wrong decisions and so on. And there is truth to that. But there is also an aspect of joy. When a person is reconnecting himself to Hashem, so that's the biggest joy. Nothing more than that. So it's very hard to answer what is the emotional state that one should have in Elul, because it depends who is the person, what is his tshuva process. Some people, for them, tshuva, it means to be sad. Some people, for them, tshuva is to be happy. For me personally, it's combination of both. It's like there's a song of Rabbi Shlomo Karlibach that he says, "Azorim bedim'a berina." The pasuk continues, "Berina ekzor," but he's singing, "Azorim bedim'a berina." The ones that are in crying, in joy, meaning you can't really have the joy when you don't have the crying. Someone that is all of his emotional body, like we're learning in the Kabbalistic meditations, is blocked. He doesn't have the flow of the abundance that opens up his emotions. So there's no joy and there's no sadness. Sometimes people have like something that is out of balance, extreme to one side. But anyhow, the right thing is to have the aspect. It's not sadness. Sadness is wrong. Sadness is negative. But in Breslov they call it broken heart. To have the courage to feel the broken heart. And then when you have that, so you can appreciate the completion when you are connected to Hashem. Yeah, so they say in Breslov, "En davar yoter shelem milev shavur." There's nothing that is more completed from a broken heart. It's an interesting idea to look into. But the main thing is that when a person is by himself, so then he cannot be completed. And he's broken-hearted. When we are connected to Hashem, so Hashem is always perfect. So we can get the perfection of Hashem when we are connected to Him. And that's the source of joy. Zod Hashem. Amen. K'nei Ratzon.